2, 1.
Now let me hear you say, now tell 'em I'm unashamed. I'm unashamed. I'm unashamed. I'm unashamed.
Romans 1:16, for I am unashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes. And normally I do that after the intro. Cool. Hello, my name is Robbie. On here I am Templar Knight. Every person who believes in God but does not go to a church has a story why. But it is said that whenever 2 or more people gather in God's name, that he is there. So this is church. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Romans 1:16. For I am unashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes. I had a rough week. Nothing major, just a lot of small problems and annoyances. Things that flustered me and just bothered me. The jobs I had to go do at work. Normally it's like maybe 1 or 2 bad jobs in the week, and the other ones are everything goes fine. Every day at work was a struggle. And then I find out that they want us working overtime, a mandatory 50 hours next week. And I don't want to work overtime. I like working my regular 9 to 5, 40 hours a week. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like my job. I'm good at it. But it's not my life. It's what I do for a living. So I will go there and I will do the job they need me to do. And then I want to go home. Because my life is here. With my friends, with my computer, with my wife, with the games I play, with this Bible study. So knowing that work is going to be taking over more, just it bummed me out. And so many things that I tried to do right this week just went wrong. And I'm not going to lie, about 2 hours ago, I was really struggling with what I want to do for Bible study. The last time I had just been mentally beaten like this, I ended up just doing a Q&A session where we would just sit at the normal screen and see if anyone had any questions. Because that's my go-to cop-out when I don't know what to talk about. Then I remembered last week. I went back and I watched last week's Bible study. And I realized that something happened. Well, a handful of things happened. Some things were said, and I talked about how Jesus is leading my path. And God's got my back, and he has an army of angels ready to protect me. And we talked about how powerful just one angel was. And I told the devil, I says, hey, I was mad, I was upset. I says, hey, you know what, devil, if we're going to play this game, bring the war. I'm ready to fight. And he did. And God protected me from so much. So many things that could have happened and didn't. But the things that got through, the things that he did not shield me from, they kind of beat me down. And I was just trying so hard to tell myself, it's like, dude, you're fine, you got this. It's all going to be okay in the end. Everything's going to work out. But I didn't like being beaten down like that. And so I did what I always do in times of need. I fell back on my Bible. I went and searched up some Bible verses about what to do when you're feeling weak. But it just didn't impact me. I couldn't find the right verses. So I went to Spotify. And God was waiting for me there. And He gave me the songs that I needed to hear to get my head right, to get up off my knees and stand strong. Because I had Bible study tonight. Game face, bro. Game face. Lock it in. You got this. And the song I heard, it was called Breathe In, Breathe Out. And it's a fun, upbeat song. It's not some calm meditation music. It's not relaxing. It's kind of makes me want to dance. Don't picture that. It's not a fun picture. I'm not a great dancer. But this song got me thinking, because what I thought was supposed to be okay, just breathe, calm down, you got this. It was a deeper spiritual meaning. Because where I use this song to refocus myself, this song was talking about what you take in and what you put out. So that was the message for tonight. And I realized this week, I took in a lot of negativity. I took in a lot of bad vibes. But what am I putting back? What am I giving to people around me? Am I letting this struggle beat me down? And so in turn, I'm beating other people down? Because that's not the guy I want to be. I do not want to be a person who hurts people because he's hurting. See, I want to be that Christian who, even when I'm struggling, I can find strength in it. And I can give strength to those around me. So am I hurting? Yeah. Am I struggling, wore down, and tired? Yeah. But am I broken? No. I am still doing my best to stand strong. Not because it's easy. Honestly, sometimes it would be easier just to take the beating. Call it quits. Be done with this fight for a while. Just back away. But then I'm letting the devil win. I'm letting my sin and my insecurities best me. And I'm still here to fight. I'm also a little sick, apparently. So I wanted to bring a powerful Bible study tonight. So once I had my mindset on, once I was ready to fight, then I went to the Bible. And once I did some searching, I found, yet again, another letter from Paul. It was in his second letter to the Corinthians. Now, mind you, when Paul wrote this letter to the Corinthians, he was struggling. It was a vulnerable time in his life. He was hurting. He was being persecuted. He was not in a good place. But he found out that the church in Corinth was also struggling. And so he reached out to them to try and encourage and strengthen them. Now, this is a little longer verse than I'd normally do, but this is 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 7 through 10. Now, Paul he's talking to these people, and he says, he was, sorry, I'll just get into it. Bud, you're screwing up. Lock it in. So that I wouldn't get a big head, I was given the gift of a handicap to keep me in constant touch with my limitations. Satan's angel did his best to get me down. What he did, in fact, was push me to my knees. No danger then of walking around all high and mighty. And at first, I didn't think of it as a gift, and I begged God to remove it. 3 times I did that, and then he told me, "My grace is enough. It's all you need. My strength comes into your weakness." And once I heard that, I was glad to let it happen. I quit focusing on the handicapped and began appreciating the gift. It was a case of Christ's strength moving into my weakness. Now I take limitations in stride, and with good cheer. These limitations that cut me down to size, abuse, accidents, opposition, bad breaks, I just let Christ take over. And so the weaker I get, the stronger I become. Paul went through some stuff. And when life was beating him down, just like all of us, God, can you make this pain go away? Can you make this struggle stop? Can I have an easy life? When he was beaten down and on his knees, it's a perfect place to pray. God told him, it's like, you want the pain to stop? You want the easy life? You want money? You want security? You want all these things that we all want. God's grace is all we need. Just like Paul, man, I'm hung up on what I want. I want things to be easier. I want to not have to worry about this and be afraid of that. I think everyone here wants the easy life. It's not about what we want. It's about what we need. And we need God's grace, and He gives that to us. And that should be enough. I know sometimes it's hard. Sometimes when the devil beats you down, you just want to stay there until he moves on. Because you just want him to stop. Because you feel like every time you try and get back up, he just hits you again and again and again. Because Satan doesn't want you standing. He does not want you to fight back. He wants to beat you into submission. A lot of us have already submitted. We've already stopped fighting. See, we are more than comfortable to do our daily requirements, to log into our faith and do the stuff that we think we need to do to get by. We are more than willing to breathe in God's grace and take that love and do everything we think we need to do to earn that. But we are so beaten into submission that we are afraid to then take that and breathe out, to spread it, to share God's love and God's word. We are taking Christians. Give me, give me, give me. Mine, mine, mine. I want, I want. Take, take, take. And once we've got all the love to ourselves, once we've got all the joy, all the grace, see, we keep wanting to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to fight for the Lord once I'm in a position to fight. Once everything's good, once everything's ready and I'm inspired, that's when I will follow my faith. That's when I will lead. That's when I will start teaching. That's when I will directly oppose the devil and all the sin that he puts in my life. And so the devil just does enough to keep us down, cowering in fear so we won't get up to fight. How many of you feel beaten? How many of you want the fighting to stop? You just want to get back on your feet, and then you'll be ready to make moves. That's where I was this week. But it's not in me to give up. It's not in me to stop. So despite how much the devil and sin is trying to keep me down, I'm going to keep fighting to get back up. I'm not quitting yet. God must have some stuff he still needs me to do. So I'm going to take this time while I am on my knees, being beaten and hurting. I'm going to take this time to pray. And the devil's going to see me kneeling there, beaten and broken, hanging my head. And he's going to think he's won. Until I get to say, Amen, and get back up and fight.
Three, two, one.
Now let me hear you say, now